Alright, so if you don't know, 310 is just around the corner, and there's an important co-main fight that's a little bit of short notice, at least for one of the contenders, and that is Ian the Cuck Gary versus Shavkat the Killer Rachmanov. Now, I think this fight is major. It's kind of why I'm making this video. I do think it kind of fixes a lot of problems with the division. So if you don't know, welterweight's kind of clogged. It's kind of been clogged for a little bit because of the Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman. Then for the unjustified Colby Covington title shot. And then now Leon Edwards loses, so we have to have a fucking Bilal Muhammad as a goddamn champion. But it is what it is. And now Bilal Muhammad's pulling out of his title fights. It's just... what does the world come to? Anyways, yeah, so now the division's clogged, and what I mean by that, we do have a Shavkat Rachmanov coming off a win to a Wonder Boy, for a number one contenders bout, in a sense, I guess, in a way. Kind of makes sense. 18 finishes, 18 fights, Shavkat Rachmanov. He's finished everyone in the UFC. I believe it's 5... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was incorrect. It was 6. Some of these don't really matter, you know, Michael Perez, like, yeah, you know, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, Michelle, whatever his name. Carlston Harris is what it is. Neil Magny was a really good win, though. That guillotine choke, pretty good. Jeff Neal, sick-ass finish. Then we have the Wonder Boy finish, where he looked like he was actually eating shots in the first round. Wonder Boy still, in my opinion, is one of the best strikers in the UFC. I think there's almost no competition until you start adding power to the mix. Then you have the Alex Pereiras. Then you have the Josh Emmett. Then you have the Dobers versus a colored African American. Just saying. But yeah, he gets the title shot off Wonder Boy. I think it's fair. I think it's fine. I don't mind it. Lined up well with the Edwards fight, but now it's just fucking Bilal has to fuck up everything. Can have nice things when Bilal's the champion. But number one contender. But we also have Sean Brady, who I feel like is kind of underrated and no one's really talking about. Sean Brady, I know he lost to Bilal, right? But that's his only loss. Since he lost to Bilal, who is now champion, by the way, he's whooped Kelvin Gastelum when Kelvin Gastelum was moving up, which Kelvin Gastelum, I guess, is like an unranked bum, whatever. But then he smokes Burns in a grappling match. So, I know I said grappling match, they're striking. Sean Brady looked good, is my point. But Sean Brady kind of deserves a title shot, arguably, especially because his only loss is to Bilal Muhammad. You know, there's a pretty good argument for Sean Brady to get it. Am I for Sean Brady to get the title? No. I think he should have to fight Kamaru Usman or something like that, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. We're getting Kyle Sakura getting a debut fight against fucking Pantoja. Steve Erceg, bottom 15, getting a title shot against fucking Pantoja. Khalil Roundtree, number 8 in fucking light heavyweight, gets a title shot against Alex Pereira. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the most unjust title shot possible, right? Boring style is what it is. It's fucking Bilal. You know? You kind of just want anyone to just get Bilal out of here. But regardless, we do have a JDM who's also coming off a very solid win against Gilbert Burns before Sean Brady did. So arguably, JDM should be ahead. I'd put him number 4, Sean Brady 5, but I kind of get why they're tied. So JDM arguably could get the title shot right now. Colby Covington, nope. Back to the gulag with your dumbass. Ian Gary, doesn't really deserve one, but one more win and he deserves one, you know. And then we also have Buckley. Like, we have a lot of guys where it's like they either need one win and it's a title shot, and there's like 3 of them, you know. That's 3 title shots next year, pretty much, as long as each fighter gets one fucking fight. And then you also have the ones that deserve it, like a Shavkat, not a Kamaru Usman, but it's Dana White, so he might even just give Kamaru Usman one, you know. Technically, Leon Edwards could also get a title shot if he were to win 1 or 2 more, you know. So it's just a lot of interesting things. And then we have people coming up, which is the major thing. We have Carlos Prates coming up. We have Brian Battle coming up, you know. Neil Magny's coming up, guys. No, I'm joking. But, you know, we have Michael Morales. Where's his? Michael Morales coming up. Like, we have a lot of... welterweight's clogged. right? And it needs some unclogging. So I think this fight is a really good start with the plunger to unclog the division. So I do really like this fight. Ian Gary, I hate him. He's a cuck. He lives with his he lives with his wife's ex-husband. Listens to him about dietary advice. He's a vegan. Ew, disgusting. Ugh, brother. If you're a vegan, hey, get that shit away from me. That's all I'm saying. I like my meat. Anyways, no Diddy. But, no, really, what we're talking about here is Ian Gary Shavkat. Now, this fight is interesting. Ian Gary being 6'3", it's kind of the only advantage he has on Shavkat. I'm pretty sure their reaches are fairly similar. Or Shavkat has longer reach, because I know Ian Gary's got little tiny baby Rex arms for his height. But I think what's important here, I'm going to get it out of the way after it's been almost 6 minutes into the video. I'm going Shavkat, obviously. I've seen some people pick Ian Gary. I'm not going to call you delusional for picking Ian Gary. Hey, before this fight was announced, I would have called you fucking delusional. Get out of my chat. You're banned for that fucking opinion. But now it's kind of a fair opinion. Can Ian Gary squeak out like a 29-28? I think. Wait, is it 5 rounds? I'm gonna assume it's 3 rounds. Ooh, I actually need to look at that now. Now I'm concerned. Is Ian Gary versus Shavkat 5 rounds? We're finding out live, ladies and gentlemen. Co-main event. Oh my god, it's 5 rounds? Ooh, this is cooking. Oh, yo, the lighting's kind of fucked, isn't it, huh? Well, it is what it is. Can't really do much. My shitty camera is what it is, boys. It is what it is. Regardless, huge. Ooh, 5 rounds. Now I'm even more confident in Shavkat because he has 5 rounds to finish Ian Gary. Ian Gary could get a 49-48, 48-47 split. I can see it. I can see it. You know, 49-40, whatever the fucking scorecards would be. 49-46, I think, is what I meant to say. But regardless, it's possible he squeaks out rounds. But my only issue is, in the last, like, 2 fights with Jeff Neal and Michael Venom Page, MVP lost that fight because he just didn't do anything to get up from position. Is Ian Gary this dominant grappler? Oh my god, not really. He pulled guard in round 2. He lost the round because of it. If he does that to Shavkat, I can see Shavkat just getting top position, instantly fighting for a submission or a TKO. I think it's pretty easy. I think Ian Gary also doesn't really have a chin. Got knocked out by Kanan Song, who just got knocked out by fucking Muslim Salikov. You know? By a spinning wheel kick at 40 years old. What a savage. Anyways, I picked that, by the way, if you're looking for picks and predictions. Just saying. Hey, I'm on the rise. Just saying. Anyways, you know, looked good against D-Rod. Pretty good. D-Rod isn't that great, though. Looked good against Neil Magny. Hey, all I'm saying is Carlo Protest whooped his ass in 1 round. You know, if you're a true prospect, how come you're not whooping his ass in 1 round? Just saying. Just saying. But, no, if you are picking Ian Gary, I think you're going by decision. That's my personal take. I don't know how you could pick Ian Gary by finish. He hasn't been able to wobble MVP or even strike with MVP, really. He kind of had to get those takedowns. And even then, you know, he didn't really do much other than hold for his dear life. And the Jeff Neal fight, it was just a clinch fest against the cage. If you know, I think a good example is the Mighty Mouse versus Adrian Moraes fight. It literally was just that. It was just about who's better in the clinch. And what we found out is that Jeff Neal has no brain cells remaining, and he clearly hasn't talked to Murad Vivishvili and hasn't started learning that knees to the thigh will win a round if you just use one of them. Now, Jeff Neal he literally had like 4 minutes of control time just on... Is there a way? I'm actually going to look at this. Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary. Are there statistics for this? It's strikes landed, whatever. Yeah, Ian Gary landed more, but it's literally like Jeff Neal just didn't do anything. You know? Like, you know when you're watching a fighter and it's just like, bro, just swing. You know, like when you're watching Jonathan Martinez and Marcus McGee, and it's like, Martinez, just fucking blast a low kick. Or you're watching Amir Albazi versus Brandon Moreno, and you're like, Amir, why are we striking with Brandon Moreno for 5 rounds? Shoot a fucking takedown, you know? Like, just do the things you're known to do. And Jeff Neal just decided to clinch and do nothing with the clinch other than rack up control time. Is there... Nope. Is that it? Is this what it is? No, it's just pick. Oh, wow. I actually didn't know that. Fuck, I can't remember what website shows you the stats. Yeah, Tapology? No, I just clicked on that. Am I fucking dyslexic? Jesus Christ. Anyways. Is it this? No. Don't care. I don't care. Regardless, Jeff Neal had a shit ton of control time based purely off the clinch. It is what it is. But Jeff Neal lost that fight. It was a split decision. If Jeff Neal literally had brain cells and he decided to knee to the thigh or just throw a fucking strike in the clinch, he wins the fight. Then we get MVP. MVP's biggest problem, he relied on the counter striking, which is fair enough. That's MVP's game. Was kind of boring. But then he got his back taken in round 3, and then Ian Gary then got a free pass, 29-28. You know, like, this is what I'm talking about. Saying he wobbled MVP didn't happen. We know that. But Ian Gary, I think, is very delusional, and I think he does genuinely think he can finish Shavkat Rakhmonov. There's rumors that Shavkat's the guy who fucking knocked out Ian Gary in sparring. Shit like that makes me pick Shavkat. That's kind of the no-brainer. But if you are picking Ian Gary, I understand why. But this is huge for the division. Because if Ian Gary wins, that means we have to take him seriously and put him as the next title shot person. This is like an Aspinall Sergey Pavlovich at welterweight when it's a Cuck versus... Yeah, when it's a Cuck versus the Aspinall, that looks a little shittier, I guess, is the way to put it. So, Ian Gary, I think, loses, but I do think if he does win, it's like, okay, that's a free title shot. He probably would beat Bilal if he does beat Shavkat. Pretty big for the division, but that means Shavkat probably moves into a gatekeeper position, right? He would definitely become the new gatekeeper at the top 5 for welterweight. He'd become like the new Jeff Neal, right? You have to get past Shavkat in order to get to Ian Gary. That's kind of how that relationship would work, you know? Because Shavkat would probably move down to probably number 5, maybe above Colby. And then he'd be fighting the Joaquin Buckley coming up. He'd be fighting the Michael Morales coming up. He'd be fighting a Carlos Prates coming up. You know, shit like that. Right? He'd be fighting... no, he already fought. Never mind. You know, he'd be fighting Sean Brady if he needed to get back into title contention, right? Stuff like that. He'd be reserved for, like, number 1 contender bouts, which I think is good because you're flushing out the prospects. Who's the fake prospect and who's the real prospect? And that's what I love about this fight, because if Shavkat wins, which I'm predicting him to win, he will then go on to fight for the title. And then Ian Gary becomes the Jeff Neal of the division, where he's just kind of gonna linger around that top 5, beating a lot of the people who are shit, low IQ, don't have it in them anymore to really get to the belt. And if you can't beat Ian Gary, then you're just shit. And you're forever to be in the unranked to bottom 15 world, I think is kind of how it's going to end up. Like, I don't think MVP is going to go on a fucking run anymore. I don't think Jeff Neal is going on a run anymore. I don't think Neil Magny's going on a fucking run anymore. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with this fight. I do like it. I love it because it does mean one of these guys is the gatekeeper. One of these guys is going to be the champion. Just saying. Especially if Ian Gary, like, finishes Shavkat. Guys, he's got to be able to finish fucking Bilal Muhammad at 38 years old. How old is this fucking guy? Bilal Muhammad. How old is this guy? Age. That's record. Where's age? Where's your age, brother? Where's your age? Age? 36. He'll be 37. Alright, my bad. I thought he was like 38. My bad. But regardless, I feel like that's horseshit. Hold on. Bilal Muhammad. There's no way he's 30. Oh my god, he is 36. Jesus Christ, he just looks that old. Anyways, yeah, I like this fight. I think it's a good fight. I think it's great because we get a number 1 contender. Or sorry, we get, like, he's next for the title. And then the other guy, probably becomes a gatekeeper. You know, like if Ian Gary is just beating Michael Venom Page and Jeff Neal, he is most likely beating Vicente Luque. Stephen Thompson, probably he outgrapples, you know? You know, just until Brian the Butcher gets in, you know, and then Brian the Butcher's gonna do things to Ian Gary that not even his wife knows about, you know? But, yeah, just saying. Anyways, I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there. I think this fight's sick. Regardless if I hate looking at Ian Gary, he's a cock, soy, vegan, likes to sit in the corner while his wife gets pounded by his ex-husband. It is what it is, or by her ex-husband, however it works. It is what it is, you know? Or you think Shavkat's super overrated, and, like, this is just the fraud checking for you. I think it's huge for the division. I think this is going to unclog most of the division, because whoever loses this fight, I think still fights contenders, right? Like, I don't think the loser of this is like, all right, now go fight Gilbert Burns, you know? I think the loser of this is like, okay, now you fight Protest. Okay, now you fight Michael Morales. Okay, now you fight Brian Battle after a Randy Brown first round knockout, you know? Stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I think it's sick. I'm excited for the fight. I'm excited for UFC 310. I think it has the potential to be the best card of the year. You might call me delusional. Is what it is. It's just my opinion at the end of the day. With all that being said, thank you for watching. I daily upload. I daily stream. Come hang around, chill, do whatever you want. Don't really care. But with all that being said, thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.